Every morning, your body sends you a signal. Most men ignore it, and they pay the price in silence. That's exactly what happened to Frank. Frank is 71, retired Navy officer, always the strong, quiet type. He'd seen storms, wars, even buried his best friend, but nothing hit him like the morning he reached for his wife and she gently pulled his hand away. Not because she was upset, not because she didn't love him, but because in her eyes, he had already pulled away a long time ago. And Frank knew she was right. It had been over 3 years since he'd felt like a man in his own skin. No more morning firmness, no more spark, no more of that quiet pride he once carried walking into a room. He blamed himself, then his age, then his testosterone. But the truth? Frank's body wasn't broken, it was simply unheard. You see, after 60, your body stops shouting. It whispers. It sends quiet signals in the first few minutes of every day, in how you wake up, in what you feel or don't feel, in the silence that grows between you and the person sleeping beside you. Most men miss those signals, not because they're lazy, but because no one ever taught them how to listen. And that's where everything starts to change. Because buried in those first 15 minutes of your morning are tiny biological switches, simple actions you can take, without pills, without awkward conversations, and without spending a single cent, that begin to reignite the very systems responsible for your energy, confidence, and yes, natural lasting erections. This video is not about shortcuts. It's not about silver bullets. It's about the 4-part morning rhythm I've taught men in their 60s, 70s, even 80s. A rhythm that gently reawakens the biology most doctors have ignored for decades. If you're a man over 60 and you've ever stared at your ceiling wondering, is this it? Then stay with me. Because what I'm about to share may just be the quiet answer your body has been trying to tell you all along. And this time, you'll be ready to listen. You've been told it's just age, that slower mornings, softer erections, and fading desire are inevitable, a natural decline, a normal part of growing older. But what if that story is incomplete? What if the real reason most men over 60 struggle with performance has more to do with neglected systems than actual damage? Because I've worked with men in their 60s, 70s, and 80s, men who thought they were too far gone, only to discover that their bodies weren't broken. They were just waiting for the right switch to be flipped back on. Let me explain. As you pass 60, 3 key systems in your body begin to shift, silently, subtly, and dangerously. 1. Hormonal decline. Testosterone levels drop by about 1% each year. By the time you reach 60, that adds up, impacting everything from sexual desire, energy, muscle tone, to your ability to achieve and maintain erections. But testosterone isn't just about libido. It's a signal. It tells your body, I'm ready, I'm alive. Without it, the biological systems behind erections simply lose momentum. 2. Vascular aging. Blood flow. Erections aren't just about hormones, they're about hydraulics. When you're young, blood rushes easily into the chambers of your penis. But with age, those blood vessels become stiff, narrow, less responsive. Years of inflammation, stress, poor diet, and sedentary lifestyle build up, even if you feel fine. So when you do get aroused, there isn't enough pressure or staying power to sustain firmness. It's like trying to fill a balloon with a pinched hose. 3. Neural fatigue. Signal disruption. Lastly, your nervous system, the command center for arousal, becomes desensitized. Chronic stress, poor sleep, constant noise in life. These shift your body into a survival state, And when your brain says survive, your body can't say connect. That's why so many men still feel desire, but their body doesn't respond like it used to. The good news? These systems are not broken. They're just asleep, dormant, waiting to be gently reawakened. And once you understand how they work, you no longer have to guess, hope, or feel ashamed, because now you'll know where to begin. And in the next section, we'll start with the most natural trigger of all, the light of a new morning. Before you reach for a pill, before you search for the latest supplement, ask yourself this: what's the very first thing your body receives each morning? For most men, it's a screen, a phone, the news, stress. But what if the most powerful sexual signal your body could ever receive was something as simple and natural as the rising sun, the forgotten switch hidden in the sky? Your body runs on a clock, a circadian rhythm that tells your systems when to wake, when to repair, when to release hormones, and when to engage in intimacy. And that clock is set every single morning by light. Not artificial light, not phone screens, but real, natural morning light. The kind that signals to your brain, you're alive, it's time to turn on. That message is sent directly to your hypothalamus, which triggers a cascade of hormones, including testosterone, and with just 10 minutes of sunlight hitting your skin or entering your eyes, without sunglasses, through a window or outdoors, you set off a biological domino effect that improves hormone balance. Nitric oxide release, essential for erections. John's story. From fog to firmness. John, 70, told me he hadn't experienced a morning erection in nearly 4 years. He wasn't depressed, he wasn't ill, he just felt flat. Until I asked him one question: how do you start your day? He admitted: wake up, grab his phone, drink coffee in the dark, check email. So I gave him one simple assignment: walk outside for 10 minutes every morning, before screens, before stress. Within 2 weeks, John was waking up different. Harder, sharper, more present, not just sexually, but mentally and emotionally. He later said, "I didn't think light could do anything, but now I feel like I'm rejoining my own body again." How to use light as medicine. Here's how you can apply this. Starting tomorrow. When? Within 30 minutes of waking up. How long? 10 to 15 minutes. Where? Outdoors is best, but a bright window works. What to avoid? No sunglasses, no phone. Let your eyes and skin receive light directly. Even cloudy mornings count, even winter days, because your body doesn't need a sunburn, it just needs the signal. Let the sun rise inside you again. This isn't magic, this is biology, ancient, powerful, and yours to reclaim. When you reconnect with the sun, you're not just resetting your hormones, you're reminding your body that it's still here, still alive, still capable. And the best part? It costs nothing but your attention. In the next section, we'll explore another forgotten power. Not outside you, but within you, your breath. You could have all the testosterone in the world, perfect blood flow, a loving partner who's ready and open, but none of that matters if one critical system isn't on your side. Your nervous system. Because here's a truth no one tells you. Erections aren't just about arousal, they're about safety. Your body needs to feel safe, relaxed, and open before it allows intimacy. Not just physically, but neurologically. The war between two switches inside your nervous system. There are two core modes: fight or flight. rest and arouse. The first one, fight, is your survival mode. It's useful when you're in danger, but it shuts down blood flow to non-essential systems, like your genitals. The second one, rest and arouse, is where healing, intimacy, and erections happen. The problem? Most men over 60 spend their entire day and night stuck in low-grade fight or flight. It's not dramatic, it's quiet, invisible stress. Worry about your health, financial concerns, relationship tension, even the constant background noise of phones, news, or unfinished to-do lists. Over time, this tells your body, now is not the time for sex. Now is the time to survive. And survival mode does. Michael's story. The 90-second reset. Michael, 66, had a loving wife. The desire was still there, but his body just wouldn't respond. I asked him, "How's your stress?" He laughed. "I'm fine, just the usual stuff." But the usual was the issue. So I taught him one simple practice, 90 seconds of deep belly breathing each morning. Breathe in slowly through the nose into your belly. Hold for a moment. Exhale slowly through the mouth. Repeat 10 times. That's it. After a week, Michael noticed something surprising. His heart rate slowed, his jaw softened, his morning tension began to dissolve. And then, the intimacy returned. He said, "Doc, I thought I needed a pill. Turns out I just needed to calm the storm inside." Why breathwork's deep belly breathing activates the vagus nerve, a powerful pathway between your brain and body. It sends a signal that it's safe to relax, safe to open, safe to respond. Do it before you check your phone. Do it before the day takes over. It only takes 90 seconds, but it tells your body you're not in danger anymore. It's okay to feel. And once you've reset your nervous system, you'll be ready to strengthen something even more surprising. The hidden muscles that hold the key to control and firmness. You've balanced your hormones, you've opened your blood vessels, you've calmed your nerves. But there's still one silent saboteur standing between you and lasting firm erections. And chances are, no one's ever told you it exists. I'm talking about your pelvic floor muscles, the invisible foundation of male performance. The body's natural valve system. These muscles sit deep at the base of your torso, running from your pubic bone to your tailbone. Their job is simple, but critical. To hold blood in during an erection and release it when it's time. Think of them like the bottom of a balloon. If the knot is tight, the air stays in. If the knot is loose, the air seeps out. The same is true for your erection. Even with perfect testosterone and blood flow, if your pelvic floor is weak, you won't stay hard. You won't feel fully in control, and you may even struggle with climax or urinary urgency. Robert's story. I can start, but I can't stay. Robert, 68, came to me with a quiet frustration. "Doc, I can still get started, but I can't stay there. It slips away." He had no idea that the problem wasn't in his mind or even his blood flow. It was in a small, underused set of muscles he didn't even know he had. So I taught him a simple morning practice. Pelvic squeezes, also known as Kegel contractions for men. Here's how it works. Imagine you're trying to stop the flow of urine midstream. Squeeze that exact muscle group. Hold for 3 seconds, then release. Repeat 10 times. Do this every morning, while brushing your teeth, brewing coffee, or waiting for your toast. No one sees it, but your body will feel it. The benefits are bigger than you think. Within 2 weeks, Robert reported stronger erections, more control during intimacy, a sense of inner confidence returning. He told me, I didn't just get better in bed, I started walking taller. Because strengthening these muscles does more than improve your sex life. It improves your posture, your core strength, your bladder control, and your quiet belief in yourself. Simple, invisible, powerful. This tiny habit takes 60 seconds, but it can unlock years of forgotten function. And once your blood is flowing, your breath is steady, and your muscles are strong, there's one more piece you need to fuel the fire. The food you put on your plate each morning. You've given your body sunlight. You've taken deep, calming breaths. You've strengthened the invisible muscles below the surface. Now it's time to fuel the entire system. Because no matter how much work you do on your hormones, your nerves, or your muscles, if your breakfast sends the wrong signal, your body can't perform at its peak. The morning mistake most men make. Let's be honest, what do most men over 60 eat in the morning? A piece of toast with butter, a bowl of sugary cereal, a banana, a cup or 3 of black coffee. It's fast, it's familiar, and it's silently destroying their circulation. Why? Because these foods spike blood sugar, drain nitric oxide, and offer zero support for testosterone. Carl's story. The breakfast that changed everything. Carl, 72, wasn't overweight. He didn't have diabetes. He thought his morning habits were fine. But every day around noon he crashed. Low energy, brain fog, zero sexual drive. He told me, "Doc, I didn't think food had anything to do with it. I thought I just didn't care anymore." But when we adjusted his breakfast, everything shifted. He started his mornings with 2 boiled eggs, choline plus testosterone support, a small bowl of sautéed spinach and beets, natural nitrates plus nitric oxide boost, half an avocado, healthy fats for vascular flexibility, a sprinkle of pumpkin seeds, zinc for hormone production. Within 10 days, Carl said he was waking up more firm, feeling clearer, and even initiating intimacy again. He didn't just care again, he felt capable again. Why this works, your penis? It's not a luxury organ. It's a vascular organ, meaning it depends entirely on strong, responsive blood vessels. When your breakfast is loaded with processed carbs, excess sugar, or stimulants like caffeine on an empty stomach, you create inflammation and constriction. But when your breakfast includes natural nitrates from beets, spinach, arugula, healthy fats like avocado, olive oil, nuts, protein with key micronutrients, eggs, seeds, omega-3s, hydration and minerals, herbal tea, lemon water, Himalayan salt, you support the very foundation of performance. Build your morning like you build your body. This doesn't mean you have to become a health nut. You don't need to give up your coffee. Just fuel your body first. Even one intentional change, like adding eggs and grains, can be the spark that reignites your system. Because when you feed your body like it matters, it begins to behave like it does. And now, with your body nourished and your systems reactivated, it's time to bring it all together into one simple, sustainable rhythm. One you can trust every single morning. You've seen the pieces, the sunlight, the breath, the muscles, the food. Each one, on its own, brings a spark back to your system. But when you link them together, like a rhythm, like a quiet ritual, they stop being habits and start becoming your return to self. Why most men don't stay consistent, I've seen it countless times. A man starts strong, he feels a burst of hope. Then, life gets in the way. He forgets one step, gets discouraged, goes back to thinking, maybe I'm just too old for this. Not because he lacks willpower, but because he doesn't have a system, a morning rhythm his body can count on, like brushing his teeth or putting on socks. So let's build it. Your new morning rhythm. Step 1. While the coffee brews, step outside, let the light hit your face. Breathe, just be. Step 2. Before you check your phone, close your eyes. Take 10 deep belly breaths. Let your nervous system soften. Step 3. As you brush your teeth, do your pelvic floor squeezes. Silent, simple, powerful. Step 4. When you sit down to eat, feed your body with intention. Eggs, greens, beets, avocado. Fuel, not just food. This isn't about perfection, it's about repetition. It's about giving your body the message, you matter again. Don's story. I got myself back. Don, 74, had tried pills, diets, even therapy, but nothing changed until he stopped chasing quick fixes and instead embraced this 15-minute rhythm. He said, "The best part isn't that I'm performing better, it's that I walk different, I speak different. I'm back in my own body again." That's the power of rhythm. It gives you back your presence and your quiet confidence. Start small, repeat often, reclaim everything. This isn't a program, it's not a challenge, it's not something you complete. It's a return to the version of you that never truly left, just waited to be reawakened. And once that rhythm becomes yours, you no longer ask, "Will this work?" You start saying, "I'm already becoming the man I thought I'd lost." Let me say this clearly. You are not too old, and it is not too late. I don't care if you're 60 or 83. If you woke up this morning, you still have the power to rise. Not just from your bed, but back into your life. Because this journey we've taken together today was never just about erections. It was about reclaiming your rhythm, about remembering the quiet strength that's still inside you, and about letting go of the shame that was never yours to carry in the first place. This isn't about sex, it's about self-worth. When a man loses his ability to perform, he doesn't just lose function, he loses part of his voice, his confidence, his connection, and over time, if no one speaks to that, if no one reminds him of who he is, he starts to shrink. Not physically, but emotionally, spiritually, socially. But it doesn't have to stay that way. Because when you rise each morning with intention, when you reclaim your sunlight, your breath, your movement, your nourishment, you're not just fixing a problem, you're rebuilding your foundation. One man's 3 weeks shift. I remember a man named Walter, 76 years old, quiet, polite, worn down from years of feeling like his body no longer belonged to him. 3 weeks into his morning rhythm, I asked how things were going. He didn't talk about erections. He didn't talk about sex. He simply looked at me and said, "Doc, I feel like me again." That's what this is really about. For the man who thinks no one understands you, you've carried more than you've said out loud. You've loved deeply, worked tirelessly, given more than you've received, and now you deserve to come home to yourself. This rhythm, these small acts, they're not just habits. They're proof that your story isn't finished yet. So tomorrow morning, don't just wake up, rise. Rise with purpose, rise with care, rise with the quiet power of a man who knows exactly what he's reclaiming. If this spoke to you, pass it on. If this message touched something inside you, if even one part made you pause, breathe, or hope again, then don't keep it to yourself. Share this with a friend, a brother, a father, or a partner who needs it. because you never know whose life could be changed by a single morning that finally begins differently. And if you're still listening, still reading, it means some part of you is already waking up, not just your body, but your belief, your hope, your quiet fire. You didn't lose it. It didn't disappear. It just went quiet, waiting for you to listen. Now you've heard it. Now you have a rhythm, one that's simple, one that's powerful, one that's yours. So tomorrow morning, when your feet touch the floor, let them land with purpose. Let them carry you back to yourself. Let them be the first step of a life that still has chapters to write. You're not here to fade. You're here to feel, to move, to love, to rise again and again into the man your younger self would be proud of. Because the real strength, it's not in how many pills you take or how fast you perform. It's in how deeply you return to yourself. So go, step into your morning, reclaim the light, the breath, the strength, the fuel, and let your rhythm guide you home. You've got this. Not someday, not when things are better, but now, because you've already started. And if you ever doubt again, come back to this. Read it, feel it, own it, because your story isn't over. It's just beginning again. And this time, you're listening.